we have a total of 15,176 inmates. Out of this, we have convicts as 13,436, remand prisoners at 1,294, then trial prisoners at 446. Now on death row, we have 176 inmates, 176 inmates. So out of this, 6 are female and 170 are male. So that's what we have for now on death row.
On July 26, 2022, the bill proposing the abolition of the death penalty was presented to Parliament and subsequently referred to the Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee for consideration. After the committee presents its report, members of Parliament are expected to engage in a debate and vote on the bill. However, during the parliamentary session on Friday, July 14, 2023, the members of Parliament found themselves divided while discussing the amendment of the bill.
2 a.m., an intruder comes into my house. He climbs a ladder. He goes to look for a ladder, then comes into my house, climbs up, breaks open my door and window, then kills me. Or if before then, he would have raped my wife, my partner lying with me. While I'm looking at it, he's raping my wife. Then, as if that is not enough, he takes my life and he kills me. Then this man has human rights. He has a human right. I have no human right. He should come and take my life within 30 minutes. He has translated me to the next world. I have no right. And he has a right to live.
MP for Medina, Francis Xavier Susu, is one of the proponents for abolishing the death penalty. He argues that although the death penalty has not been implemented since 1993, there is still a risk that it could be used in the future by an oppressive government to target its opponents, as seen in the case of Myanmar.
In most jurisdictions that even retain the death penalty, most often than not, it is a tool in the hand of political opponents that use it to oppress political persons. For example, the current example of Myanmar, right? And they had the law, they stopped using it from 1980. But last year, when there was a military takeover, 4 leaders were executed. 100 others currently are on death row. So people we can easily sleep. So if the law has outlived its usefulness, for the last 30 years we have not used it, why keep it on the studied books?
Amnesty International Ghana, an organization that has advocated for the abolition of the death penalty in Ghana since 1985, highlights that it is a violation of human rights. The country director, Genevieve Partington, emphasizes issues such as prison congestion, lack of fair trial, and the absence of statistical evidence proving that the death penalty reduces or increases crime rates. She appeals to parliamentarians to vote in favor of amending the bill.
Sometimes, even in a way, the families of victims don't even find a sort of, it's not comforting for them, actually. There's been a public opinion poll on families of victims that, where the perpetrators face death sentences. And most of these families actually want the perpetrators to have life imprisonment. I know a lot of people say eye for an eye. Eye for an eye is in the Old Testament of the Bible, thank God. And as Christians and Muslims alike, or should I even put as moralists, we should look at being a more compassionate community, more forgiving, but it doesn't mean when you commit a crime, it shouldn't come with punitive measures. So that is why we are suggesting that we should put life imprisonment in place of the death penalty.
On the other side of the debate, Dr. Harry Agbanu, a senior lecturer at the Department of the Study of Religion at the University of Ghana, opposes the abolishment of the death penalty. He believes it is an appropriate punishment for complex crimes in society.
We should keep it because of how complex crime has become these days. You see, there are reasons for which punishment regimes are instituted. There are goals, there are objectives of every punishment regime. There are basically three goals. We have what we call reformation. We have reformation or rehabilitation. We have deterrence. We also have vengeance, restitution. And so, if somebody takes human life just like that, intentionally, in a very crude manner, then that person has created some imbalance in the society. And the only thing that can bring balance back to society is for that person also to pay commensurate price for the crime that he or she has committed. And there is no other punishment for murder that is commensurate than the death penalty.
Citi News also conducted a public opinion survey where individuals expressed varying perspectives on whether or not the death penalty should be abolished.
The law is there. It is not working. So where do they keep it over there? They should scrap it. It shouldn't be there.
My position as whether we should do away with death penalty. Yes, I think that's my position. We should do away with it. I believe that's the drift now. And it is in fulfillment of a lot of international treaties. Most of them, Ghana have already ratified them. And therefore, just keeping it in a boost that we have death penalties, meanwhile we cannot actually implement it is a bit for me hypocritical.
Being in a global village, gravitating towards establishing and elevating our human rights profile, I think that the death penalty, as discussed and debated, should go. It shouldn't stay in our status books at all. Because I think that for 30 years, we've not had the courage to implement, sign any death warrant. It's still in our books because of the uncertainties of the judicial processes and even our crime investigation processes. I think that we should commute it. Where we have death sentences, we should commute it to life in jail. At least that allows the person to be punished the more.
Reverend Dr. Stephen Wingham, a former chair of the Ghana Prison Service Council and the General Superintendent of the Assemblies of God, offers a religious perspective on the matter.
If the state has justifiable laws that demands that, they will not be infringing on the scriptures, because God, according to Romans 13 verse 1 and 2, God establishes authority. And there must be rules also that deter wrongdoing. Of course, in the 10 Commandments, the Bible upholds eliminating human life. That is where one takes the law into your own hands and then decides to kill or murder somebody. So I am pro-life, and I will say that we should expunge it from our law books, and then I go for the life imprisonment, especially if somebody terminates another human life. For that one, we must send a strong signal as a nation that we will not tolerate that.
While there are diverse opinions on the death penalty in Ghana, with Parliament yet to make a final decision, the Ghana Prison Service urges the government to implement reforms that promote a conducive environment in prisons. For Citi News, my name is Eno Safo.